to raise this important question that how can organization consistently deliver excellence IT services, right? So with this, by the end of this session, we are going to understand what ITSM is, what ITIL is, and then be able to distinguish between ITSM and ITIL 4, and then identify the key practices and also understand the role of product management in delivering our services. So I'm going to start with what ITSM is. So ITSM is an acronym for Information Technology Service Management. And then it is the discipline of designing, right? Delivering, managing, and as well continually improving IT services. So the important word here is the service, because ITSM is not simply about managing computers, servers, or application, right? It's about ensuring that the technology we provide are useful and reliable to customer and business at large. So ITSM as a whole bring people, processes, technology, and value together, right? So the key message here is that ITSM is about managing technology to ensure that we give service, that we create value to customers and or users, because the essence of every business is to create value. So as product managers, we always ask that what value are we creating, and then ITSM will help us to know how reliably we are delivering and supporting that value. Okay, so let's use everyday example. Every one of us will be using one banking service, banking application, one way or the other, right? It can be fintech and it can be bank, right? So imagine you are using your OPay to transfer money, and then the transaction fails. So as a customer, you want to expect to the organization to detect what happened from their end, right? And then that's mostly work of a product manager. Like, oh, customers are complaining they cannot have a successful transaction, right? So from there, once customer notice this, we have to detect the issue from our end, investigate it, and then resolve the problem. Once we do that, we have to communicate it with the users as well, and we ensure that it doesn't happen by looking at what we can do to prevent such. Okay, so that is where ITSM comes in. ITSM is different from incident management, right? ITSM is the overall principle, is the overall principle of ensuring that it's value. I hope that example makes sense to us, because ITSM will be able to cover incident management, problem management, and this has a lot of issues, right? So ITSM is the tools or the process that we use in managing experience, right? And then that this is to customers and users. Okay, then what is ITIL on the other hand? ITIL, having explained what ITSM is, ITIL is a framework. It is a framework that provide guidance for managing these IT enabled services. Okay, is more or less like collection of best practices to guide organization on how to deliver high quality IT services. So for our understanding, ITSM is the discipline, right? While ITIL is the framework that supports ITSM. So for the purpose of this presentation, I'll be talking more about ITIL 4, which is the uh, latest framework that is being adopted here, right? And then ITIL 4 focuses strongly on value, collaboration, customers experience, continual improvement. That is very important, right? And adaptability. And this makes it to be relevant to modern products management. Am I still audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you. So, for us to understand ITSM and ITIL, I will have to distinguish between the two words. Okay, ITSM is the overall discipline of managing IT services, right? While ITIL, it's a framework that provide guidance for effective management of ITSM, right? So ITSM also ITSM also covers incident management, as I've said earlier on. Okay, and sorry, ITSM, right, is the overall discipline itself, while IT rather is the framework. Okay, ITSM focuses on managing services, right? While ITIL provide the practices. So for us to understand it better, let's see that ITSM is the car that manage all the services, right? While ITIL is the driving manual. Okay. So ITSM asks the question, how do we manage and deliver the payment service for a financial institution, right? But ITIL asks that what practices and guidance can help customer manage that services, right? So once a service fail, how do we restore it quickly? Okay, so the distinction here help us to avoid one of the common misunderstanding about ITIL. So we don't think that, oh, ITIL is the overall practices of managing service, but it's just like a framework out of all the service management itself. So what are the core ITIL practices, right? ITIL 4 provide a range of practices, right, that help organization manage and continually improve IT services. So I'm going to focus on four key practice, or on five key practice here, which is number one, the incident management. Incident management focuses on restoring normal service as quickly as possible when something goes wrong, right? So let's say, for instance, an OPay customer attempt to transfer, but the transaction fails, right? So from our end, the ability for us to identify and assess the incident, prioritize it based on impact and restore the service, and then be able to communicate it to the affected users. Like for instance, when you want to make transfer and then it fails, you quickly see a notification behind the reason why your transaction failed, right? That is incident management under ITIL 4 practice. Okay. So the ability to quickly restore the service is where product managers are work effectively, right? So I also want us to understand that the number of customers affected, the impact on the customer's journey, and then the ability to improve that product is required to be documented by a product manager when you look at the logs right? When you look at the reports you get. Okay. Then under IT4, we have problem management. So problem management is different from incident management because it focuses on identifying and addressing the underlying causes of an incident. Now we know that this transaction failed, okay? And then if this transaction now repeatedly fail at certain times, okay, the ability to resolve each incident individually is not enough. Okay, so we also need to know that why does this keep happening and how can we prevent it. That is the difference between incident management and problem management. Incident management restore the service immediately, right? As soon as possible. Don't let me use the word immediately. As soon as possible. While problem management address the cause. Why is this incident reoccurring? So we look at it that okay, let's look at what is wrong. Probably there is a weakness in one area or there is a technical issue in another area. So we now create opportunity for improvement. So the third one is change enablement, the ability to manage change in a controlled way. For instance, the OPay interface is not how it used to be. They are iterating every day, every time. So the ability to manage these changes without it disrupting customers usage or service that we are rendering to them. At times we just open our OPay app and say, oh, this thing have changed. We don't even know. Okay, but they are doing the thing behind the scene, that is change enablement. We are improving safely without any disruption. Okay, the fourth one is service request management. Okay, this handles predefined routine re- predefined and routine request from users. Users can want to reset their password. They may want to access some request, or they may even need some information. That is service request management. For instance, if you're using your app, you may forget your password, okay, and you want to reset it. The ability to request for that service and getting it at that time is what is known as service request management, right? And then the last one, which I'll be talking about under IT4 practice, is knowledge management, right? Knowledge management ensures that useful information is documented and accessible and reusable at any time. For instance, users may want to ask for one or two questions. They may want to know who their customer representative is. They may want to know some problems or even want to troubleshoot one or two things. Probably they get another phone and they want to install that app back. So the ability for them to access that knowledge as at when needed is what we call knowledge management. So those are the five core practices of ITIL 4. Okay, why ITSM matters? ITSM matters because technology is valuable, and when we rely on it as users, okay, and we get the services that we needed, we are providing and creating value for our users. Okay, once we are able to work well on our ITSM, the service that we render, there will be better customer satisfaction. Okay, so there will be reduced downtime, improved efficiency, and then lower operational cost, because we are going to be preventing occurring incidents and improving processes that can reduce support efforts and operational waste. Then there will be better collaboration. There'll be better collaboration for the product management, the IT, the operation, the service desk, and then the business at large will be able to give valuable service to their users, right? And then ITSM is very important because it also improved continual, I mean, it enhances continual improvement. ITSM encourage organizations to use data, customer feedback, and service performance to identify what should be improved. Am I still audible?
Yes, yes, right on, please.
Okay, thank you. So, what are the customers, I mean, product management perspective to ITSM? That I don't want to talk about it, but let me explain it more here. When we are building a product, right? Launching is not the end of that product life cycle. In fact, it is the beginning of learning and continuous improvement. So, a product manager is responsible for ensuring that the products that we have built continues to deliver value to the users. So, as product managers, right, we need to consider that we are not building these products alone, and we are not just building the right product, but we should also consider the fact that are we delivering and supporting these products in such a way that it's still giving our customers value. So, as product managers, right, we need to ensure that there is our customers are getting our users or customers are getting value, and then visibility into what happens after the product reaches the customer. Let me cite an example here. I've built OPay and customers are using it. And then we now say, okay, we want to build another product. We don't even care if they're getting value or if we are giving them the service that is required of. So that means we don't know how. Hello, can you hear me, please? Can anyone hear me?
Yes. We can hear you, but we can't see you. I,
Listen me.
yes, we can see you now. Your skin is not showing.
My screen is not showing. Okay, let me reshare. Can you see me now? Can you see my screen?
You can see, but can't see your screen.
I can see my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Please, where do you stop hearing me? Is it still on this slide? The product management perspective.
Yes, yes, yes. On this particular side, yes.
All right, thank you. So, I said, as product managers, we don't just build products and then leave it that, okay, our product has been launched and then we forget about what we have built. We need to follow up to know that, okay, we have built this product. How are customers using it? Are they really getting value? And are we delivering and supporting this product in a way that it consistently give value to our customers? So, as product managers, this is where ITSM becomes very relevant. Okay, we need to uh, provide visibility into what happens after the product reaches the customer, right? And then what are the things customers are experiencing? And then how quickly are we fixing issues? How are customers satisfied with our services? Which problem keep running or keep reoccurring? And are changes causing service disruption? Because when we build products, we need to iterate on it, improve on it continually. So how are we iterating without disrupting these services? And then where are customers experiencing friction? Okay, that's those are the questions we need to ask as product managers to ensure that we continue to give value to our customers and users. So the product management role is to understand customers needs. Once we understand their needs, fine, we have done our user research before we build this product, and then we understand that they need it, but customers are insatiable. Their needs keep changing, so we need to continually understand what their needs is and then provide it. Once we understand it, okay, we define the outcome and then we prioritize improvement. When we do that, we work with technical teams that, okay, this is what we have gotten from the feeds or from the feedback of our users. I think we need to improve on this. And then we collaborate with operation and service teams alone. As product managers, we don't work in isolation. And then we also use data to measure performance for us to know that it's not only the technical teams we are working with. We work with the data analyst, the technical team, the customer representative. And then because we are the advocates of our customers, so we need to continuously contact our customers and then give them what they want. Okay, and then that is based on with ITSM, right? So I'm going to give a real world example. I'll be citing it, okay, but I'm going to distinguish it between ITSM and ITIL4. Okay, so now ITSM, we are offering value to our customers, giving them good services, right? So, but an incident occur, okay. Let's assume that a banking app, I'll be using OPay, okay. We want to log in, but you experience a login failure, okay. Then that means an incident have occurred, right? The service here is that our customers want to access our product, but it fails. Then item 4 in this aspect will be that an incident has occurred. Once this incident occur, we have to like, okay, detect and log. That is still IT4 in process. Then we assess the impact, prioritize, and resolve. All these things are happening behind the scene. Customers don't know, but the communication that is being given to them is what customers needs. All this detect, log, access does not consign customer. Like, okay, what's happening? I want to access my uh banking app. I want to make transaction. I can't have access. What's going on? But the communication that we give is what they need. And then they're like, oh, these people, their service is very reliable. I can always come back. Even when I cannot access this thing, I think it's because of this reason. Let me try again. This is as a result of what? Communication. And then we learn and improve on this. Oh, don't let us let this happen. Let us prevent this from happening. Okay, so the immediate goal here is to restore the service, which is ITSM. But the approach that we took to resolve that is called I24. Okay, then it doesn't stop there. Product manager now goes further that how many customers are affected? What part of the customer's journey was disrupted? What caused this issue? And then how long were customers affected? And then what can we do so that um this will not disrupt or affect our business objective, our impact on the customer's mind. right? And then how can we prevent reoccurrence? So IT4 helps to provide the guidance for managing that service that we are providing, right? While product management helps to ensure that that service continues to create customer and business value. So the metrics that we need to understand when talking about ICSM and IT4, okay, so that we know that our service is actually performing well, we need to understand MTTR, mean time to resolve. That is how quickly are incidents resolved, right? Then we have FCR, that is first contact resolution. How many issues are resolved during the first customer's interaction? It's not that this is the first time the customer is using our app. Okay, no. When this happen, how are customers able to resolve it from their end with what we have provided rather? Then SLA, that is service level agreement. Okay, this is what we agreed that we'll be giving you 99.9 service that will be available 99.9%. How are we meeting up with that service level agreement? Are we meeting up with our agreed service commitment? Then CSAT, that is customer satisfaction. How customers are satisfied with the service they received from us. Okay, how consistently is the service available, and how are they getting satisfaction? CSAT and avail, that's service availability, they are more or less related. Okay, change success rate. How successfully are we making changes without without causing disruption, right? So all these metrics need to be measured, because product managers don't just report numbers. We use them to identify opportunities. You don't say, okay, we are giving them 87.9%, and then you leave it at that. How can we improve to give them 99.9%? So when there, for instance, when there is a low FCR, first contact resolution, there will be an high escalation for them to you will be receiving a lot of messages, a lot of feedback. We cannot do this, we cannot access this. In fact, at times, if we want to install app, we need to go and check customers review for us to know that can we retain this app. So this may indicate that support teams need better tools when we have low FCR and high escalation. Okay, and then keep KPIs should drive decision. So the essence of explaining all these metrics is for us to drive decision, not just to report it for reporting sake. What are the uh, feedback we are getting? Okay, how can we improve on it? So I've cited the example of online banking app that you cannot access, right? You cannot access your banking app, and then it's still the same thing as what happens during um outage during month end salary rush. Like when there is rush, probably at the end of the month, a lot of people want to access their app. Okay, we still need ITSM and ITU to figure out everything. So we bringing everything together, we need to know that ITSM and ITU works together, because once our service is disrupted, incident occurs, and then we learn to quickly restore that service, right? So the key takeaway for my presentation this morning is for us to know that ITSM is the overall discipline of managing IT service, and then that IT4 is a framework, not ITSM itself. So we should not use it interchangeably. Okay, and then incident management is one of the specific IT4 practice. I've also talked about incident management on this platform before. Yes. And then IT4 focused on value creation, collaboration, and continual improvement, not simply rigid process, as I've explained. Then product management and ITSM complement each other. Without product managers giving um, quality service to our users may not be achievable. Okay, so ITSM focuses on effective service delivery and support, right? So my final message here is that we don't create value simply because we built a technology solution. We create value when customers can reliably use that solution to achieve their desired outcome. Thank you for listening. Do you have any question for me? Hello, can anyone still hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you.
Do you have any question for me? Do anyone have any question? Okay, I'll take a silence for no question, but I have one or two questions to ask. So, I would like to ask the audience that have you at one point at a time experienced poor IT service as a customer now, not uh, as a builder, not as a technology expert, but as a customer or user? I can anyone hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Can anyone answer that question? Because I believe we all use IT products one way or the other. It could be our banking app, it could be our learning platform. Have we experienced any poor IT service?
Somebody's hand
Um,
is up.
Good morning, Balikis.
Yeah, good morning, Mary.
Yeah, so there's this problem I've had and I'm still having it with GT Bank, although I don't know what the problem is. Randomly, I won't be able to open my application. Like once I click on the app, it just hangs, my whole screen hangs. Then I realized the solution was to restart my phone. So it's something that happens at random. I can be using it for like let's say the first 3 weeks in the month and the last week it won't just open and it has almost put me in trouble. Thank God I had my CUDA app, but that's just one IT problem I've been seeing with GT Bank.
Okay. Now, I would like to ask another question based on your response. Thank you for that, Mary. So, from your hand and based on what I've explained about ITSM and ITIL, what do you think they could have done to improve that based on the ITSM practices I've explained?
I know one thing could be in terms of customer feedback, although from my end I can say I never reached out to them to give them feedback on the problems I was encountering because once I just restart my phone, it works again. But in terms of ITSM, the process would have been maybe there will have been a way for them to notice on their end from like their admin portals and all, so they can notice, oh, or maybe customers are having issues with the systems hanging, they take that as a feedback. That I think this would fall under continual improvements under ITSM. So they would
Yeah.
take that as they would notice that, take it as a feedback, work on it, then maybe just something like a push notification or even email of, oh, we noticed some people have been encountering this problem. We've worked on it. I think that's the solution I can think of right now.
Okay, thank you for your response. I would have liked to ask that which IT4 practice, but you've mentioned it that you've answered as well that continual improvement practice. Okay, which is an IT4 practice that could have improved that experience. So, thank you, Mary, for your response. I would like to ask this last question that can an organization deliver a great product without great service management? If yes, why? And if no, why? So, um, I would like someone to answer that question as well from the um, audience.
Okay, I think it's really, really needed because when you think of ITSM and ITIL, so ITIL is like the framework explaining for IT companies, this is the best way and the best practices we have seen that can help you handle any issues that come. So just think of it as customer service for IT companies. And I think an example I can think of is, let's say a restaurant opened and there's a rule book explaining to you when clients come in, you greet them at the door. Next step you take is take them to their seats. Next step, ask them what do they want to eat, things like this. So in case of IT now, this framework and this service management has explained all of the possible problems that you could face, and not just even explained it, it has now explained to you the solution. So if you're going to be managing, delivering a great product, delivering great service without having mitigation strategies in place, you are going to encounter problems. And when you do encounter those problems, you won't know how to solve them. But if you have this ITSM, that's the service management for IT in place, anything that you could probably think of happening, because this thing has been in existence for years now, and everyone it has been updated with every knowledge you could think of. So any problem you could probably encounter, you would just need to check, okay, what IT practice do I need to follow? Everything has been
Exactly.
explained in detail. So I think it's yeah, you really need a great service management to deliver a great product because your end users, you'll just be losing your end users. You'll be getting customer churn almost every month without this.
Absolutely, Mary. Thank you so much for your response and contribution. Um, this brings me to the end of my presentation this morning. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you so much, Balikis, for this insightful presentation. Okay, this comes to the end of today's KD session. See you guys on next week, Tuesday.